So, well, I'm going to start. I hope that if someone is missing, is gonna just join. Um, so, well, first of all, thanks so much that you are here. I really hope that this space is going to be useful. I know that sometimes I speak really fast, so in the case if I'm speaking too fast, just please text so I can see it. And if you have any question, please text so I can see it. Okay. So I'm going to start. First of all, I'm going to present myself. For the ones that don't know me, my name is Nady Marichal. Currently, my position is MCVP IGT, sorry, in ISEC Malaysia, and I am already elect in ISEC Hungary for the same position. Let's say IGT. Something important. I studied chemistry, but since a lot of time ago, I'm really interested to understand how the trends of the market are happening, and especially when it's talking about like how recruitment is happening, right? And for that reason, I'm really interested in GT, but this space is to understand better how you can portray your CV in a better way that can be useful. Maybe, of course, in this moment you are studying, and I don't know, you can be in your second, third, or maybe you are just finishing your uni. But it's really important since the very beginning because maybe can be the way that you can start having some connections with your professors, with the I don't know, even the people that is working in ISEC, your partners, that can give you a chance to have the work that you want to have in the future, right? So yeah, let's start. So in this space, I'm gonna talk about like different tips, especially our 7 tips, and I hope that you can really like pay attention in the different tips. But something that you need to understand that is not something that I'm creating because in GT some and a specific point is like we are basically HR recruiters, and the point is we are trying to understand what is like the main requirement from the company, and based on that, trying to find the most profile. Um, the person that just mentioned and is not muted. Can you mute yourself? Okay, so just something important. Actually, for recruiters, takes like only 6 minutes, 6 seconds to make the first screening, and it's because basically everything is coming from how the CV is looking, right? So, as main point, of course, first always you need to find a good template so you can direct your CV in the way that can be or can look like catchy, let's say. Uh, uh, Okay, so what is the point? Like, what you can actually do to improve your CV? So, first of all, you need to understand that you need to have a clear direction, plan, and purpose. Of course, when you ask to yourself, what is my direction or what is my purpose in life, it's a little bit hard to define it. But of course, if you're applying for a position, it means that you're interested to work in that company or to have that position, right? So, it means that you need to pay attention in how you are going to elaborate your CV, and of course, how are you going to be prepared for the interview in case if the company call you. So anyway, it doesn't matter if you are not clear now. In the moment that you're applying, you need to understand and you need to do a lot of research about the company, because probably you can be applying for one company that is maybe not that aligned to your values or your, I don't know, what you want in life, but maybe can be a company that is really aligned to. So you can utilize all your strengths in terms how you portray your CV in that way. So let's say in the case that you consider that you don't have like clarity in what are like the way that you are, let's say as a person, you can just take some tests, like really basic tests that is are not that basic actually because are a little bit long. So you can see here. So we have 3. The main ones, let's say as a suggestion, is the PI behavioral assessment, the Holland Code Curry test, and Cursor temperament sorter. So basically, those 3 assessments are not because you are going to give the assessment to the recruiter. No, not at all. It's because that information can be useful for you to understand what are the things that you like and what are you interested, especially with this one that is in terms of career assessment, to understand like what is the things that you want, right? So you can see here, let's say that, for example, Holland Code Career Test basically has 87 questions, and Curiosity Temperament Shorter has 71. So are a little bit long, but in the terms of the outcome that you can get can be really insightful, because it's not only about how or what are you gonna put in your CV, but it's what exactly can be useful for you and your life, and how do you want to manage your recruitment process, because every recruitment process can be really different. And I'm saying this, okay, as a perspective that I'm basically working in like as in recruitment part, but also I already have been working outside of ISEC, and I really understand how is a process that sometimes drags a lot of time. Can be, I don't know, can be even 3 months in the process. So you need to understand that since the very beginning, you need to be aligned about what you are or what what is the person that you want to portray? Because if in the CV you are saying that you are responsible, that you're really responsive, and etc., but in the process you are not like that, what kind of person are you portraying to the company, right? So be clear about what are the things that you need to communicate since the very beginning with your CV. Then you need to ask the right question. So here you have just some examples. So before writing your CV, you need to understand what exactly is like the benefits or why you are the best person for this position. You need to understand that I'm going to talk about that later, that if you find a position in a platform, don't think, I'm really sorry, don't think that you're the only human being that is going to apply for that position. A lot of people apply for the positions, especially when they're in platforms. And anyway, if you consider that, for example, one of your friends, just as an example, PwC, one of your friends that is alumni from ISEC told you like, hey, we have a position that you fits, like your fit is like perfect for the position. Are you interested in? And you said yes. So you send the CV to the person, your friend, and your friend send the CV to the person in charge, the human resources. It doesn't mean that just because that person is your friend, you're going to have the process faster or easier. You're going to be in the same pool that everyone that is applying for a platform is. So be clear about what are the things that is going to make you different. So some of the question is, what I am the most proud of me of my career. Maybe you don't have experience right now because you are studying, but it doesn't matter. Maybe you have a lot of experience in ISEC. It's something that is soft skills. Maybe you have a specific value that is going to make you different from the rest of people that is studying the same thing than you. Then which of my skills do I feel most confident in? Understanding that you are amazing and you need to believe first of all that you're amazing because it's how you're going to portray with the human resources department. And then why I'm applying for this specific job. As I said, you need to make research. If you're applying for a specific position, probably it's because you're interested in the company. So let's say that you're interested to work on Toyota, right? And you know that they're really organized, that they have like very interesting systems. So it's because I'm really in that kind of profile. So I know that I fit really good in the company. So it's like understanding first, like what is the company, and maybe understanding if your personality, your capabilities are aligned to what they are, right? And then you need to understand what is like in terms of your history, that what can help you to make the process faster and easier for you. And then you can see here the the kind of questions that you can ask to yourself in the moment that you are doing the CV itself. Then this again is a lot in terms of self-awareness, right? Like, so ISECer, and sometimes even though we are in ISEC, we don't really are really self-aware. So in this part, like, of course you need to understand your strengths, and this is super basic because it's not it's not a common factor that in a lot of interviews for companies they are going to ask what are your strengths, and also what are the things that you consider that you need to improve. And of course it's because it's necessary to understand the kind of profile. So in the hypothetical way that I hope that is not the case, that you don't really know what are your strengths, is the moment that you need to make an assessment, evaluate yourself, because it's information that you need to understand since the moment that you're applying. And it's information that you need or you must to put in your CV. So in the case if you don't have like any idea what are like your strengths, here I have another example that is high five test that can helps you to understand better. So the information that I'm saying are links. So in the moment that you have the output, you can just click there directly. Okay. So just as a brief example, how it should be a good CV in terms of utilizing your strengths, utilizing like the kind of opportunities or the correct questions that you need to make before creating your CV, right? So I'm gonna talk about the rest of the CV later on, right? So you can see here directly like where is so you can see like that the person is analytical, collaborative, like a lot of details that can make you or can make sorry the person in charge of human resources to be interested because it's catchy and the person can understand. But then you need to understand like what kind of expertise that basically are your strengths. But for example, you can see that the expertise that are here are mostly in terms of functional, right? Like in terms of what I'm good based on my background or based on what I'm applying. So now you're going to see a little bit more in terms of detail about that. So now I'm curious about to ask you something. Who from here, you can answer yes if you know what is ATS. You can answer yes in the chat. Who knows what is ATS? More. Answer, 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 answer. Tan, tan, tan. Ah, Lolermi, you cannot answer because you saw the slides before. Okay. Okay, the rest of you say no. Yeah. So, yeah. So, basically, what is ATS? That is in the next slide. It's okay. And you can pass it. So basically, ATS is something really important in terms of recruitment. As I said, don't think, for example, JobStreet, that I'm saying about platforms that are common here, right? There is one platform that is for internships. There is the company's platform. So, for example, you go to Mackenzie here in Malaysia and you go to the website and you can submit your CV there. Then in LinkedIn, you can submit your CV. There are a lot of platforms that before sending the CV directly to the person in charge, you need to send it in a platform directly. So basically those platforms are under the system of ATS, that basically is applicant tracking software. Okay. So the point of this is like are basically ATS robots that is going to be or are going to make like the screening process. So basically, for example, in GT, in ISEC, we are the ATS robot because the platform expa, let's say, doesn't have ATS robot. But what we do is like based on what we need, we made the screening process and we said like, okay, this person doesn't fit because it's not aligned the background, by the CV is not going to continue in the process. Basically, the ATS robot do exactly the same thing. And when you are sending your CV, you should pass the first screening process, right? So basically, what is the main topics that you need to understand in how to improve your CV to avoid that your CV is going to stop in that moment? And just keep in mind that 75% of the CVs are rejected. And this information is coming from Mackenzie website. That Mackenzie is one of the most important recruiters in worldwide, let's say. So one of the first points that you need to take into account is like keep contact information in the headers or footers in the Word document. So let's say in the PDF, whatever that you are sending, because basically when the the system, or let's say the software, is making the screening process, is not going to read that information. So be sure how you put the information, your personal information, in the CV itself. Then you need to use standardized information, because of course if you're applying is because, let's say, I need to have some specific information. I need to know your experience, your background in terms of education, if you have, let's say, extracurricular activities. So of course I'm going to define in my software that I need that information. If I put in the software that I need that, and in your CV it doesn't say, I don't know, extracurricular activities, your CV is not going to pass. So it's in the moment that you cannot be like creative, putting like something that basic as education, something as an experience. You need to put directly professional experience. So in the moment that your CV is passing, your CV can continue in the process. Okay. And something in this part is really, really important is how you can like make the different part in terms of how you play with the words. And okay, that's something that I don't think is going to happen in Malaysia, but for sure, something basic, your CV should be always in English, right? You cannot play with your CV with another language in the moment that you're sending it. But in this part, is like because you need to be catchy and the people should be interested in what you are putting in your CV. So it means that if you are saying something that is like, I don't know, team player, probably high probabilities a lot of people put the same characteristics. So you need, if you want to talk about your strengths, if you want to talk a little bit what is your profile, what are your values, or etc., in the header of your CV, you need to be sure how you play and can be interested words, can be something that can attract the people. So just as an example, that can be like really like hard skills that can be interested in is like capital investment accounting or operational budget planning. Basically, that can be directly talking about LCP finance, right? So it's like how you can understand that should be in the way that is not because I'm just saying it, is because there is a system and your system is going to reject your CV. It is basic. So here you have a one video that is really interesting. That is one recruiter that has like a lot of information in LinkedIn. So you can just click there and you can see the video. It's not that long. It's like 6 minutes. So yeah, I think can be really useful if you are more interested to know how to avoid the process itself of the ATS. Okay, something else, and this part is really really important, is because the ATS basically, of course, is going to collect and check all your personal information, right? Like the information that we have nowadays in internet is available for everyone, and of course it's available for all the companies. So it means that, of course, if you have things in social media, you need to be smart in how you have your things. So in the case that you love your Instagram account, your Facebook profile, whatever, and you think that, of course, you want to continue having that information, be smart in how private or not is your account. Because for sure, the ATS system is going to check and is going to analyze if you're, what is the information that you have there. And of course, I guess if you're applying for a company, is because you want to be working in that company. And of course, you don't want to be rejected since the very beginning in the process, even without having the interview, right? So in these kind of moments, you need to be smart in what kind of information. So some specific things that you have, like reevaluate the information that you're putting in your CV in terms of social media. Of course, will be good, for example, if you have your LinkedIn account, because LinkedIn is considered social media, you need to put your LinkedIn account because it's going to be really, really relevant for the recruiters, right? And then check your privacy settings, because as I said, you can maybe, your profile can be open so everyone can see it, even they can be screening the software or can be not. And then if you are open to, you can just delete the embarrassing or inappropriate photos or inappropriate things that you have, I don't know, from when you were in high school or whatever, because probably that is going to affect you directly in your process of selection. Okay, then the tip number 5, it's something that you need to understand, because of, okay, we're talking about the CV and we were talking that the ATS system is going to stop or is going to reject your CV since the very beginning. But then you need to understand that even though the first screening process is coming from the software, then the person that is going to make your second screening is going to be the human resources junior or whatever. Then your CV is going to pass to another person. So probably you need to understand that your CV should be catchy for the person that is going to read your CV. So for this part, like I have some specific recommendations. If you are someone that study marketing or design, I don't know, like things regarding visual things, you need, of course, you need to have your portfolio that is a part of the CV. But for sure, if you are part of that kind of majors, you need to put something in terms of visual graphics or things that can be interested for the person. But if you are studying something that is related to business, economic, science, or whatever, it doesn't mean that should be that aligned to be attractive since the very beginning in terms of design, let's say, with graphics or specific icons, right? But for sure, you need to have like simple layout, like can be clear and can be easy to understand. And of course, keep on mind the size of the font and how you are putting the margins and all the information together. Should be and should look organized, of course. Then took advantage of the F pattern. Can be F or E, it doesn't matter. But the point is like, because how the brain is going to read is going to, I'm going to read the first line and then I'm going to continue. So your CV should be attractive in the way that I'm going to be interested to continue reading. If you put, let's say, for example, that your first experience was to, I don't know, working in, I don't know, let's say that you were LCP in ISIC, right? So you put that was your first one. And then you put the description, it's a lot of information. I'm not going to be interested at all to read the description or what you were your achievements in that position. So next, I'm going to read the next position. So you need to ensure that how you are putting your information is going to be attractive with F or E pattern, right? Then the mission statement is really important. And why the mission statement, as I said in the tip number 1, is like that you know what you want exactly. I don't know, maybe not from the position, but what that you are looking for in your professional career experience. So the mission statement or who you are as a person should be coming in the first part of your CV. So you can put, nowadays actually putting the photo is not that relevant, but if you want to put your photo, of course, should be something really professional, not like just laughing, like, huh? No, should be something professional. And next to that, your name, your background, what you study, and then your mission statement, something that can be catchy but really small. You cannot have more than 5 lines, of course not, because if not, the person is not going to read it. And again, as we do in ISIC usually what we said like all the time, like you need to use like something, when you have your paragraph, you need to catch the attention to a specific words. So if you're putting that your mission statement is 5 lines in the paragraph, you need to put that letter in bold, or something that the people can say, okay, the person is organized. So for sure, when I'm reading it, I'm going to be interested in those specific words because it's what I want to communicate. Is what the message that I want to transmit. So if you don't know what is exactly like F pattern, basically is in the way that you are reading it, right? So it's like how you can understand that is how your brain is going to collect and read the information, and how many attention I'm going to put to the different details that you have there. Okay, so just this is just as an example. And then how more in terms how it should look is like you can see it here. It's like, for example, you can see that the name of the person and etc. And then you can see the information regarding the personal information, as I said before, so you can avoid to that your CV is rejected from the ATS. And then you need to put all the information regarding your mission or what are your strengths in terms of person and your professional drive, right? And then you can see in terms of like the different positions. But something that you're going to see later on, when you put a lot of information in terms of just words, is not going to be interesting. So for example, you can see here in the second lane in the box says like and found accounting for 25 K, let's say million USD revenue generating in the operation. So it's important that you need to put numbers, and keep in mind this all the time. You need to put numbers, but I'm going to talk about that later. It's not only about text, it's how you can catch the people. Then in the tip number 6 is like get the opinions of the people in your resume. So let's say if you know that, I don't know, a lot of your friends or most of your friends, they are studying and they're in the same position that you are, they're looking for a work or whatever. Maybe you can ask for someone that can have more experience, that can help you in terms of giving you feedback regarding your CV. Because it's not something, of course, everyone is learning, and probably the recruiters, when they are in the recruiter statement or moment, probably they can give a lot of feedback even from their own CVs. But the point here is like try to collect feedback as much as you can so you can improve it like slowly. And then this is the most important part for me, because in ISEC we have a huge mistake that when we are putting, for example, positions regarding ISEC, we, let's say, I'm going to say that I was LCP, that I was having a very big team, that I was empowering people with leadership, that I was, I don't know, developing youth with, I don't know, like things that are not relevant because I'm not putting the information that the company probably wants. And okay, what I'm saying is, when you are sending your CV or uploading your CV in the platform, you need to start thinking as a company. Why? Because of course, a lot of people is going to say that they are team players, but actually, probably when they start to work, they are not that team players. The company needs to know information that is going to make you different, information that is going to make you relevant in the market. So when you're thinking about what is going to make you different, especially when we're talking about, for example, ISEC, and well, actually in everything, you need to think about numbers. So for example, when we're talking about incoming products, LCPs, LCP finance, you need to think about how much revenue, for example, you can put in your CV. I'm not talking about revenue because actually it's not that ISEC is having profit with the things that we do, but anyway, we have income. So how was the process of the income? How the management of budget? For example, how many exchanges you did, like how was the growth, the percentage of growth. You need to put that kind of information in every single experience, even internships, because it's going to be valuable for the company. You need to understand that when we are talking about KPIs, it's not only in ISEC. The companies are driven by KPIs. They are driven about how, I don't know, if you are saying that you want to achieve 100 about something, how much did you achieve? 20, 50, or 90? It's going to be more interested for the company if you achieve 90, right? So it's like the kind of information that you need to portray since the very beginning with your information. So if you have data that can ensure in terms of money, will be amazing, because the companies, of course, work only because of money. And they want people that can ensure that the revenue is going to increase, that the management of the KPIs is going to be very good, that the performance is going to be very good. So here you have some contributions, let's say, based on position. So for example, talking about KPIs, talking about percentage of achievement, talking about money, talking about increasement of performance, So for example, when we're talking about all the people that is working in PM, so how many people you were working with, how many people did you ensure that were achieving their goals, how many, I don't know, of course not implementation of about team standards, but how was implementation of your projects or programs that you were downscaling. So because it is going to prove that you are very good in coordination. It's not because you are saying good in coordination. No, it's proving that the numbers can ensure that you understand what you are talking about. And actually, in the companies, in the real world out of ISEC, we are based on numbers. Everything is based on numbers. How the market, how the trends are happening, how the curve of investments is happening. So when you're creating your CV, don't think, yeah, as I ISEC, and I'm going to put that I was LCP, that I was TL. No, it doesn't matter outside. You need to understand and change the switch that you have in your mind and put the correct information that can be interested for the people. Okay? So then here you have another CV that is another video that is from the same woman talking about like things that can catch the attention in the first like screening process that the recruiters are having. So you can pay more attention in the small details that she is mentioning. Okay, so some specific tips that are really important is like something that is important nowadays in the recruitment is LinkedIn. Okay, so you need to understand that in the moment that you are creating your CV, will be amazing that you are creating at the same time your LinkedIn account, because it's in the moment that you can start matching the things. So for example, if you are putting that in your CV, you were working in ISEC, you say ISEC, like, I don't know, 1 year and a half for a specific position, but in LinkedIn says 1 year, is not matching. And probably for you is nothing. Yeah, it's just 6 months of difference or whatever. But probably for the person that is making the screening and is in the recruitment process is not going to look that reliable, and probably your CV is not going to pass that screen process. So you need to match all the information that you have in your LinkedIn with your CV. You need to ensure that the information is accurate. And then in terms of LinkedIn, I'm going to talk a little bit later. Then you need to showcase your skills at the top. So as I said, you need to put all the information regarding your personal information. I don't know, let's say Nady Marichal, chemist and food engineering, then my personal information, my email, my phone number, and the country that I'm living in if you are applying for a abroad opportunity. Then you need to put your mission or a statement that you have, and after that, all the skills that you are capable of. As I said, you cannot put just basic skills. Okay, you can put basic skills, but you need to play with the words that can be catchy for the person, that can be interested in the CV. Okay, ensure consistency. This is mostly in terms of how your CV it's aligned to your LinkedIn profile. Then in terms of design tips, so you have the information in terms of the margins, the font, and in terms of facts, of course, you need, as I said, be based on numbers. You need to think as a business, right? And you can see here just something as a extra information, like usually how many CVs can be sent in a daily basis. So just as an example, in GT, we have like different partners, right? So we have global partners, that the global partners are like really popular in ISEC network. Let's say MC, alumni, and etc. In those global partners can be more than 700 candidates for a period of 2 weeks. So it's like in the moment that you need to understand how many people is applying and how you are going to add a different value to your CV that the person can be interested. Because honestly, actually, the CV doesn't have any important part in your process. Probably they're going to make you questions based on another thing, but the CV is the first part of your recruitment process. Then this part is more in terms of how you manage your LinkedIn account. So you need to understand that LinkedIn for some of us is not important. It's not relevant because, of course, we're using Instagram and it's amazing. We are using Facebook, yeah, TikTok, whatever. But if you are applying for positions, LinkedIn should be your right hand at this moment. Okay, so all the things that you have here are the information that usually you can update or you can customize in your LinkedIn account. So I'm going one by one, okay? So profile photo, basically, you don't need to just go to a specific place with formal clothes, but for sure should be something that the person can be interested to talk to you. Because in some cases, what is happening, let's say you send the CV in the platform and the person is checking LinkedIn and find your profile. So probably the person can contact you directly by LinkedIn. And it's in the moment that you need to understand how how that information or how your profile is attractive for the people to contact you. Then the headline basically should be the same one in terms of how you are putting the information in your CV. So headline basically is like the name of your current position. Let's say, for example, in my case, I can put, MCP iGT, but it's not the way that should be. I need to put something that can be more interested. So in the headline, for sure, what I'm going to put is something regarding recruitment, regarding sales, regarding logistics and operations, even though it's not all my function itself, but it's like specific words that I want to work in. So if you are, I don't know, engineer and you want to work in a specific department, you need to put that that's not your current position, but it's what you study. So it's aligned about what you want to achieve. Then the summary basically is the same one that you put in your CV, for sure. Then in terms of experience should be the same one that you're putting in your CV. So if you're saying that you had an experience as an intern working in accounting in a specific company in a specific country for how many months, you need to put what were your achievements in terms of numbers, the same point that you put in your CV. Then in terms of education, of course, you need to put all the information, the relevant information in terms of education. Then volunteer experiences and causes, of course, is important to add the value that for you, extracurricular activities are important. For some companies, this is a very important value. Okay, then skills and expertise, again, match your CV with LinkedIn. LinkedIn has something that you cannot put like fancy words. Basically, you need to choose based on a list that they have. So you can just choose based on that. Then honors and awards, in the case if you have like, I don't know, very good grades or whatever, you can put information there. Courses, projects, and recommendations. Sorry, courses and projects are something that is based on your profile. Then recommendations. This part is very important. So if you have been working with someone that, I don't know, is like, I don't know, your professor and has experience doing something, probably you can ask for a recommendation. But don't go to the other point that you have so many recommendations that are recommendations coming from someone that is not relevant in the market, let's say. Can sound not in the correct way, but you need to think who can add value to your LinkedIn account. So if you know someone that is, I don't know, let's say CEO, head of something department, you can utilize that information and you can request, hey, can you add me like some recommendations in my LinkedIn account? Because probably in the future, when you're having a very good position, that is going to be valuable too, that you add recommendations for someone in the LinkedIn account. So then here, this is a very important part, because in a lot of cases, when someone is adding the information in the CV or even in the LinkedIn account, they're putting the information as ISEC position, and that shouldn't be. You need to understand that the people don't really know what we do, or well, they don't really know. When we're talking about leadership, for them, it's like really like mind-blowing, right? So here you have some examples. Basically, the most examples are in terms of iGTa and in terms of BD, because it's like the positions that actually work like more with externals. But you can see just like the normal example in terms of LCP. So you need to put branch manager of. So you put the, I don't know, can be finance and legalities, people management, global volunteer, global talent, global entrepreneur, and then your LC itself, right? Then, for example, in the case of LCP's branch manager, the LC itself. And then also you have examples in terms of the TLs, but you need to understand that the information that you're putting should be attractive. So, for example, when we're talking about this part about the headline, you can utilize even this information if you don't have any idea what to put. So, for example, if you are working on sales, if you are working, I don't know, in terms of HR in the LC for PM, if you are working in terms of legalities, if you are working in something specific about accounting, you can put that information and then the position itself that you have in ISEC. But should be something that catches the attention of the person that is reading it. And here at the bottom, you have the link of this spreadsheet, let's say, that is with a lot of information, or let's say also tips in how to manage your LinkedIn account that can be more interested for all the recruiters that are in the process for your CV. Okay. So, well, basically that was all from my side. So just to close this really quickly, this space was basically supported by me as a MC PIGT and by Lola Ermin, that is the MC director for PD. So yeah, now I have an open space. If you have questions, you can just open your mic or just directly type it in the chat, okay? Can be questions regarding whatever you want. regarding CVs, of course. So all of you know how to make your CV. You don't have any question regarding how to put your specific position or your previous experience or the detail of your experience or how to create your LinkedIn account, how to manage your profile. Is everything clear? You can do it. If you send me your CV and I evaluate your CV from 1 to 10, I'm going to say 10 or which number I'm going to say. Think. Okay, I'm going to give 2 minutes. Okay, I'm going to read it. Wait. So Karim asks, having a position of manager while you're still fresh graduate, is it not realistic for recruiters? I don't get it. Karim, can you clarify this question?
Yeah. So now, when I send my CV to the HR, that, and they see that I have the position of sales manager or something like that for a branch, isn't it, for them, because I'm fresh graduate, it would be not realistic, like how he can call himself a manager while he's still fresh graduate. Because before I heard from like uh, one who's teaching about also CVs and that, he told us when you got a position that when you're still very young and you got a position of manager or that, sometimes it's a disadvantage in the market.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like, isn't the point that you need to clarify? For example, in this space that you had is because someone told you, but for sure you need to put where is the position, right? So of course you are not putting manager of sales in PwC. You are talking that where is the company. So if the recruiter is checking your CV, for sure is going to check where is the company. And if you are putting, for example, Karen, in your case, you are putting sales manager, and then you are putting, remember that the example is to put the city and then the name, let's say the location of your LC. So you're putting ISEC, let's say, for example, in University of Malaya, if I'm not mistaken, it's clear that you're not talking about a huge company. So it's not going to be a disadvantage because you're talking that you're a sales manager in something that is small. So it's the moment that you need to understand what kind of information and what is the screening process that you're going to receive based on that. Clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the next question, how do we add values to our CV in terms of programs and activities that we choose to participate in? So it's like in terms of experience, and something that I didn't mention in the presentation, you need to choose what you want to present. So in ISA, usually you start as a member, then you are director, then you are LCP. Some people can have 2 years of LCP, then you are LCP, then maybe you want to be MC, but you have in that process of time, I don't know, 3 positions of EST, you were ECV, just as an example. You need to choose what kind of information you want to present. You cannot present all the information. So, of course, if you are applying for a specific position that is, for example, in terms of, I don't know, business administration, and you are having something regarding, I don't know, marketing that is not aligned, but you have more positions based on business administration, you need to put that information. Don't put everything that is in your mind because it's not going to be relevant. So if you were working in a volunteer program for 1 year, that doing something regarding, I don't know, empowerment, empowering woman in, I don't know, in a specific place that is not relevant for the company, don't put it. Don't waste the space in your CV. And then how to add value, thinking, as I was presenting at the beginning, thinking what are your strengths and what are the things that can be really useful for the company. What is the company based on, or let's say the mission or the vision of the company, and how your strengths can be aligned to that. And something, your CV should be customized. So let's say that you are applying because at this moment you really need to find a job. You finish your uni, I don't know, 3 months ago, and you are not finding a job. So you are sending your CV like to all the platforms that you find. you need to customize as much as you can. Because in the moment, let's say, just as an example with big companies right here in Malaysia. So you want to send your CV to DG, you want to send your CV to PwC, and you want to send your CV to Lenovo. So it means that probably the company, and for sure, has different mission statement, and you need to customize your CV that for them can be interested. Let's say that they can be interested in. So in terms of how you add your programs and activities, of course, if our programs and activities, it looks that probably is like extracurricular activities. So you need to put in a space of extracurricular activities. If you are talking about ISEC, no, that should be part of your experience. Okay. Then the next question, it's okay to apply for a technical company if my CV is full of soft skills experience. Well, it depends, because if you're talking, okay, I don't know if you're a ISECer, because I know that there are some externals, but actually if you're talking about that you are an ISEC, ISEC is not only about soft skills. So try to utilize information or your experience in terms of ISEC positions for that technical company. But of course, if you're talking about something, I don't know, IT, I don't think ISEC is going to provide you, but just give a try. I mean, for this, I cannot give you the answer because I'm not that sure, but just give a try, let's say. And something important regarding the ATS. If you apply for the company, let's say, I don't know, I'm going to mention one company that we have in GT. You are applying for the company and the name is Plentisoft. They are based on IT, right? And you send the CV in the platform. And then your CV was rejected. And then you want to apply, I don't know, 3-4 years later to the same company, you cannot send the same CV because the ATS system has recognition, of course. So you need to customize your CV in terms of template and in terms of how you organize your information. Cannot be the same CV. Just keep on mind this in the case if your CV was not, let's say, was rejected in the process. The next question is that she was late. There is an ideal page for the CV. Cannot be more than 2 pages. Actually, in some platforms, you cannot submit more than 1 page directly in the PDF. So just keep on mind that cannot be more than 2. And if you can just make it like smaller, can be better. Respecting that you need to follow the design advice in terms how is the font size and etc. Okay. The next question is, people usually put like a score 1 to 5 in terms of skills, team player, leadership, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't necessarily to put in the CV. Actually, it's very good because you are thinking in terms of numbers. So it's a very good point that maybe you can, I have seen a lot of interesting CVs. If you are interested, like you can just approach me later and I can send you like some examples of very good CVs that I saw in ISEC. So basically what they put is like the list of skills and then they evaluate, let's say with like in small circles and they put like how many. So if you know how to do it, amazing, just go for it because basically it's presenting numbers, let's say. Any recommendation numbers of accomplishment? And okay, for this one, I'm not sure if you are talking about, let's say, what kind of accomplishment, like in terms of education or in terms of professional experience.
Hi, actually anything, intern experience or like part-timing experiences. Yeah, although accomplishment, is there a limit to it? Like putting too much of it is too overloading for the company? Or
yeah. Okay, so well, as I said before, you need to choose exactly what you want to present to them because I don't know, maybe you have a lot of, let's say, in terms of all your experience, let's say that you have 10 experiences, professional experiences, talking about ISEC, talking about internship, and let's say even part-time experiences. But do you think that is going to be relevant for the company if you said that you were working, I don't know, when you were studying in a, I don't know, in a restaurant, I don't know, supporting accounting, instead of saying that you were working in something else that is more relevant? So it's the moment that you need to choose what is going to be more relevant for the company and what can be more valuable for them, okay? So there is not a specific number, but you need to select and be smart what kind of information you want to show them. Then in terms of intern experience, okay, this is also an insight from GT perspective. Some people think that just because you're an intern and you were 6 months working, that is not relevant, and actually it's not true. I swear that is not true. A lot of companies that are interested in fresh grads, okay, a lot of companies instead they're interested in people that is like, I don't know, have 5 years of experience, that we don't have 5 years, but some others are interested in fresh grads. So when the moment they're putting internship experience, at least you are showing that you have experience in your background. So don't just miss that part because, yeah, it's not relevant, or you have the wrong idea in your mind that is not relevant because actually it's not true. So just put it. And in part-time experiences, think if that information or that position is relevant for what you're applying for. Okay. Should we design different set of CV to different company that we apply based on? Yeah, because maybe, let's say, I'm going to give an example, right? So basically, when I started to work, I was working. Let's say before coming to Malaysia, I was working Coca-Cola company. In the moment that I was applying for the position, I was applying to be, let's say, how can I say, like lecturer in my university, and also I was applying to Coca-Cola company. The way that my CV was really different, because of course for Coca-Cola I was putting a lot of things regarding, I don't know how important or relevant is for me in terms of performance, in terms of achieve the objective, and in terms of my university, what I was presenting is like how good was in terms of talking and handling the people and all my achievements in terms of educational part. So it's like, for sure, you need to portray like all the information that you're presenting in your CV based on the company if you have the chance for. Because some platforms, for example, if I'm not mistaken, it's JobStreet. If you submit your CV, you can just click apply, apply, and apply. And your CV, the same CV, is going to be sent for all the positions you're applying for. So it depends of what you are, let's say, interested. Because, for example, in LinkedIn, you can send the CV directly to the person that opened the position in LinkedIn. So it depends of the platform that you are using. What else? Then the next question is, let's say I submit resume as my CV. Is it possible? I don't get it. Can you clarify this? Okay, well, that person can clarify. I don't know how to pronounce the name, Wei Shen, I don't know. So the next question is, what is the best way to send the CV to the company? For sure in PDF. Never, ever send the CV in Word, because I received some CVs in Word. Never do it in that way, please. Okay? And customize the CV, let's say the file of the PDF, customize it with your name. So in my case will be CV or resume Nady Marichal. And if you can put, let's say, the position that you're applying for, will be amazing, because when they have it in the folder, can be in order, let's say, by the letter. Then the next question is, when writing about our experience, should we write in order, let's say, or in past tense? Should be the first one that they should see is the current position, and then continue with the time. So the last one should be the first professional experience or experience that you have, okay? And in terms of relevance of experience that you're applying, no, because usually, for example, if you go and check LinkedIn profiles, the information that is presented, let's say the systems organize information based on the year. So you need to put information based on the year. So let's say, for example, if you are applying for a position today, you need to put, and now you're an ISEC, you need to put your current position. So let's say in my case, let's say I'm not going to put MCP, but head of incoming global talent or something like that, August 2019/current. And then for sure I'm going to put Malaysia, because Malaysia is not my country and I'm working abroad. So anytime that you're working abroad or you have another experience with like a new market, you need to put that, let's say, your country itself, the country that you're working in. Then the next question is, any tips to write a good or short summary about myself at the top of the CV? This is like a lot in terms of how I was presenting at the beginning, in terms of doing your own self-awareness research, in terms of understanding. For example, you have the test there, understanding what are your strengths and what you like. So maybe what I can do is like I can submit my CV in the folder that is going to be the output, so you can just check the kind of the kind of summary that you can use. Okay. And later on, if you have questions, you can just send me yours and I can give you feedback regarding that. Okay, what is the best font size, spacing, and writing CV? So you can see it here, Nina. I put it, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, here you can see use 11 font of the size. But of course, if you have like any other font that can be good, because I'm saying the size, right? I'm not saying which font, but you can just customize it. And actually in ISEC, we use a lot of Lato and Helvetica, and both are really good, let's say, in terms of how it can look. Then the next question, because normal CV is more detail oriented, but resume is Okay, no, let's say you need to understand that when you are submitting your CV, in most of the cases in the platforms, it is considered as a resume. So it's like, is in, how can I explain this? In the platform, actually you can submit only one file, right? And you need to understand that in most of the time, there is going to be your CV. Your resume is not going to be considered as a something that is going to be part of the screening process. And then I sent just now the link where is the PPT, but I'm going to submit my CV too. Okay, and the next question is, what should I include in CV if I have no work experience at all to apply for the internship in summer? I'm still studying and I'm planning to get work experience. So something else, for example, in your LinkedIn account, in the headline, let's say, for example, you can see the photo, the name, and then in the headline that I was saying that you need to put attractive quotes, because basically what the people see when they are checking this, let's say the profiles, let's say I'm gonna write in LinkedIn Celine, and I'm going to see all the people with Celine's name, right? And I'm going to see her name and the headline. So in the case that you are looking for a position, you can put there directly open to work, or something that can be understandable that you are trying to find a position in the company, let's say, because in LinkedIn is like, that is what the people is doing nowadays to be more, I don't know, open to be contacted, right? So now let's say if you don't have experience, I guess, well, I don't know if it's Celine the one that I know, but in terms of experience, anyway, if you don't have professional experience, as I was saying before, in your background, you can utilize the ISEC experience that you have. So of course, ISEC give a lot of soft skills, but also actually can give a lot of like hard skills regarding specific points in terms of people management, in terms of how you are working, in terms of finance, how you are working in terms of logistics and operations. Can be not related 100% to your background, but can help you. So anyway, if you don't have experience directly to your background, you can utilize the experiences that you have in ISEC, because you cannot lie, never lie in your CV, because probably when you are in the interview, you're going to be really, really nervous. So if they ask you something that you were not clear in the CV and you answer something completely different, you're going to be fucked, and for sure they're not going to continue the process with you. So be smart that if you lie with something, just the date in your CV, probably when they're making the interview, they're going to utilize your CV. And if you are that nervous that you cannot answer the correct thing that you put in your CV, that is going to be a huge disadvantage for you. Then, is it necessary to put self-introduction sentence in the CV? Yes. This is like I put it here too. So you can see it here, like showcase your skills at the top, but also here you can see like the example in how you can put the information. So for sure, you need to put like some introduction in terms of what are your skills, or what is like the summary of who is Harry, and the people can be interested. Any other question? Or someone wants to clarify? Oh, wait, yeah. Okay, the next question is, let's say that my part-time experience is not related to my job that I'm applying, but that's the only job experience that I have. Should I include it? Yeah, if you don't have like any other like experience or whatever, yeah, just the same thing that I said before, just give a try. Let's say, of course, if you're applying for something as a manager, you need to understand that your chances can be lower, but if you're thinking about something that is like for fresh grads, like maybe you can give a try, because I mean, you cannot lie, you cannot put something that you don't have experience. Yeah. And something else that I didn't mention, if you know that someone from your contacts, from your network, knows you really good, let's say in terms of, because you have been working with the person, because you were working in a project or whatever, you can put that as a reference in your CV. Like in a small part at the end of your CV, put reference. But don't get me wrong, don't put your professors, because some people just put like 5 professors. That's not relevant. Of course, we all have been, let's say, if we have been in the uni, of course, we can have like good reference from professors, but that's not the point. It should be someone that can really give you like a, like can be a good, let's say, the person that can give a, like, I don't know, a reference for the position that you're applying for, not only professors itself. And the next question is, do you have any recommended sample of CV that you can share with us? For, yeah, I'm gonna put it in the folder that is in the link. I already sent it here in the chat, so you can just go there, and I'm gonna submit the CVs while I finish the space. So I'm gonna try to find if I have like good examples of CVs of people that study marketing or things like that that can be useful for you in see how the CVs from someone that is study design or something can look like or should look like. Okay, so I'm gonna put it. The next question is, can we include more than one reference? Yeah, but no more than 2. That's too much. In the CV, right? In LinkedIn, you can have as many as you want. And as a suggestion, in LinkedIn, when you are creating your profile, just go and check good, I don't know, people that has experience, CEOs. Don't think only about your friends. Think about people that is, I don't know, the CEO is a huge company. I don't know, think in the company that you want to work in, and then go and check the profile of all the people that is working in. Is what usually I do. Okay, just try to take it as advantage. Welcome. I don't know if you have any other question. One more minute for questions. Okay, I think no. So just something like as a last part that I want to say, as I said at the very beginning, I really like to read about trendings in terms of market and recruitment and etc. So if you're in the case that you are in ISEC and maybe you're in your second or third year of uni, so you don't need to worry now about finding a job, so it's okay. But in the case if you are finishing your uni, you're going to be graduated, let's say in this year or the next year, I suggest you to start reading about the trendings in terms of your background, because a lot of things are changing because of the COVID-19 situation, and the things regarding recruitment are changing like a lot. Like every week something like new articles are coming up. So I suggest you to read more about it, because honestly I think that the let's say the part of how the companies are going to start recruitment is going to be a little bit hard. So yeah. And Lermi has another question. No, it's not a question. They're mean. So I think that's all from my side. Thank you so much, peeps. Anyway, if you have any question, you can just text me, whatever, or send me an email. And yeah, you have already the link there for the output. So yeah, thanks so much, peeps, and have a good night. Thank you, thank you, thank you.